Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad new Fangled motion picture show.
So, like, the majority of Christmas movies are bad, right?
Majority? Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, how many Christmas movies are out there that are just like the worst? I mean, think about like Daddy's Home and shit like that.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's also a lot of just really random. There's a whole lot of like made for TV, like Hallmark Network movies.
Oh yeah, they love that stuff, man. But this movie they were reviewing is better than that.
Yeah.
So we're reviewing The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Yes.
It's about. Oh wait. Hold on. I'm Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And this is the spoiler-free part of the review.
Right.
And then we'll give you a, when we're done with that part, we'll give you a spoiler warning and maybe go in depth into it. I mean, he writes the book, spoiler. Charles Dickens writes a Christmas Carol.
You don't know, in case you don't know, what the movie's about is it's a dramatization, probably highly fictional, about Charles Dickens writing a Christmas Carol.
Right.
There's probably quite a bit in here that's made up or changed for story purposes.
Yeah, because I thought I had read somewhere that he was asked by Parliament or something to write a book because they were tired of all the just like drunken debauchery that was people's way of celebrating Christmas at the time.
They wanted a more wholesome Christmas.
Yeah.
That's what I had read somewhere too. But basically, Charles Dickens needs some money because he had a couple flops.
After Oliver Twist?
Yeah, he did Oliver Twist, and then he had a couple flops. And then so he needed the money, so he wrote a Christmas Carol in like 6 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. And got it published because he had the idea in like November.
October.
October.
I believe.
Got it. Yeah, and got it published like just in time for Christmas. Which is that is true.
Yes. That did happen.
Yeah, and so but it's just about him trying to work through this story, and he's hitting these mental blocks and everything, but it's kind of interesting because he sees the characters come to life around him, and you see like the influences of him, like his brother-in-law is Bob Cratchit.
Yeah, his brother-in-law has a sick son.
Right.
And
one of his housekeepers is the ghost of Christmas Past, and
yeah, and then
whatnot. But they come to life in his office,
right,
while he's trying to write, and they taunt him, and especially Scrooge taunts him about his
Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
Who you might know as the man who replaced Kevin Spacey in All the Money in the World.
Yeah. Also from other things, he was the voice of the bad guy in Up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was a great Scrooge. And then also Charles Dickens is dealing with his own life at the same time, and it's sort of an interesting how like the story of A Christmas Carol parallels his life, at least as it's written in this, and that he realized he's not as good a person as he thinks he is, and so he comes to that realization through writing A Christmas Carol.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's basically it. I liked it.
Yeah, there's actually not a whole hell of a lot to spoil here, because he writes the book and gets it published.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very successful. These are things that are all well known.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that it's like the most widely published book after the Bible or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but I kind of remember reading that somewhere.
I mean, I'd believe it. But yeah, it was a fun Christmas movie. It was pretty funny at points too.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's. There's nothing in it that's a fan that doesn't. There's nothing in it that's you couldn't like have a kid watch.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it's a family film because I think there's parts that like a young child is just not going to understand or care about.
Especially like when he's seeing other characters in the room that from the book that aren't actually there, while there's real people in the room that he's talking to.
Yeah, they might not understand what's going on, that this is all like in his head. But there's also stuff in there with his relationship with his father and stuff that might be a little bit too deep for young kids.
Right.
But there's nothing, there's no swearing, no sex or violence or anything in the movie that would keep you from letting a kid watch it. It's just they might not understand the movie.
I mean, it's rated PG.
Yeah, it's...
And probably only because, like, they drink some alcohol in it.
Yeah, some characters do get drunk at times. But, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty decent movie. I enjoyed it.
It's got fairly decent ratings on IMDb. It's a very limited release. We had to go to a theater we basically never go to see it.
Yeah, and it didn't... I think it premiered on the November 22nd, but this is the first week it's run here.
Yeah.
So it's been out for a while in other places.
Right.
So, spoiler warning.
What is there to spoil?
There's not like a lot to spoil. This might be our shortest review yet.
I mean, what can you say? Everyone knows this story. Like, I mean, they know the story of A Christmas Carol. They know what's going to happen. Charles Dickens is going to write the book.
Right. One thing, I mean, I've read A Christmas Carol, and it's a very short book.
Yep.
It's not very long, but like this book that they publish at the end is like 3 times as thick as the book should be.
The version you read, did it have all the illustrations?
It had the illustrations in it, yeah.
Okay.
It's a very, very thick version of the book. I was like, the book is not that thick. It's not a very long book.
Yeah.
Basically, most movies don't cut anything out for time when they make a version of it.
Right. So yeah, go see it.
Yeah.
Recommend. Probably the only good Christmas movie this year. Because, I mean, what else do we have? We have Daddy's Home 2, right?
Yeah, I have no interest whatsoever in
that
movie.
That looks terrible.
Bad Moms
Christmas.
Also as far as family Christmas movies, I don't know that there are any. Like movies you could take that's like a family movie that you could take your kids to and stuff. This is the only one, and again, there's no problem with taking a kid to it, but they just might not understand the movie.
Yep.
It might not hold their interest.
Yeah, so that's probably all we have for this review. Our next review is probably going to be on The Disaster Artist, which was it?
When does that?
It's next week, I believe. Remember we were talking about this on last night.
It just depends on when we can see that.
Yeah,
and if it's going to be before or after we see Star Wars.
I mean, assuming it's playing there, we should be able to find time. I think it was Seth Rogen that said we made a movie about the worst movie, and it might be our best movie.
Yeah.
It looks great. All the reviews for it so far are fantastic.
Yeah, and they say that James Franco does a really good job, and
the thing is, I like James Franco.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think I've seen him in anything where he was the problem I had with a movie.
No, and
I mean, he always plays kind of a weird character, so really this role is for him.
Yeah.
Because Tommy Wiseau is
a weird character.
A weird person. But yeah, so that is probably our next one. Because if we don't see it this coming weekend, we'll probably see it like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. I don't know. Following week.
Yeah.
We'll find a time. And then Star Wars the weekend after that. I'm so excited.
Okay. Well,
so
that's stay tuned for that stuff, and I guess that's all we have to say about yeah, we had nothing it's so weird that we had such a short.
But there's
nothing to spoil.
There's nothing to spoil. There's not a whole lot to actually talk about on this one.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're looking, for a Christmas movie, or
yeah,
and it's playing where you're at, that might be your biggest hindrance.
Yep.
Then
recommend to go see it.
Go see it. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for listening, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. God bless us, everyone.